This is a lie. This background is a lie. We're in Palm Springs, and it looks like that out here a lot, minus the clouds. Today it was really dark clouds. We're in an atmospheric river, came through today. And, you know, it happens once or twice a year maybe in Palm Springs, and that explains my appearance. I'm sorry my clothing was all soaked through to the skin. For a large part, up in Idyllwild, which is 5,000 feet up, mounts of the San Jacinto Mountains rise to 5,000 feet, and the onboard the thermometer on the beautiful 6.5-inch TFT display was saying 32 degrees for a long time. And I thought I should have been a lot colder than I was, because I wasn't really that cold, but we were concerned about, you know, it was 32 degrees, water turns to ice, and we were waiting for it to snow, but it didn't ever quite happen. But anyway, that's why I'm wearing a robe, because my clothes are all wet. I didn't pack that much stuff. But we're here to ride the 2022 Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak Edition, named for, you know, all the success they've had in Pikes Peak racing over the years. And, you know, the bike was the least of my worries today. I was afraid I almost got blown off the road by the wind a couple times, but I did not. Anyway. 1158cc counter-rotating V4. This is the one that they put in their other Multistradas beginning like last year. And it's the first non-Desmo Ducati in a long time, if not as long as I can remember, which means you only have to inspect the valves for adjustment every 36,000 miles, which is a pretty huge step in terms of making it easier to own one of these, even though it's not going to be easy, because this one's almost a $29,000 motorcycle, I believe. But it's got all the goods that make it worth that much. The 1158cc V4 in here, they say makes 170 horsepower at the crank, and like I think 92-ish pound-feet of torque, like 8,750 RPM. So the thing scoots, and we did in the morning manage to get a little bit of dry riding in on the curvy roads that lead outside of Palm Springs, and I felt like I was going to have a great time on this thing if the weather had held off, but it did not. This one's going to be the sportiest of the Multistradas, thanks to its 17-inch front wheel, and they've actually put Marcassini forged wheels on both ends of this thing, and our man Richard tells us that takes 8.8 pounds of spinning unsprung weight off the bike, and that taken together with the counter-rotating engine means this thing, for being kind of a large motorcycle, I think we said 527 pounds when its gas tank is full. Felt like it was going to transition really good from side to side and actually be a very sporty thing. It's kind of a large looking motorcycle when you look at it. It's kind of large up here, but it felt like it was going to be a lot sportier than its mass would imply. And it's made for long distance riding at the same time. I was on the standard seat for a while. They swapped me over to the 20 millimeter lower accessory seat, and that was nice for me with my 30-inch legs, made it a little bit easier. When we got down off the mountain and we were coming back home after we got back to I-10, mercifully, to come back to Palm Springs, you put this baby goes up and down, and I don't know if it was because of all the rain in the air or what, but really smooth flow over my helmet. I don't know. This kind of varies, the airflow, depending on the atmospheric conditions, but it felt really calm and quiet to me this afternoon riding on here. Like 6,000 RPM, getting about 80 miles an hour, and the engine just ran really smooth, and it was nice. It was nice. I was happy to be alive. That's probably part of it. One of the other features that this bike has, it's got a bunch of race modes, and they're easy to access even if you're old through the left switch gear. And it's got a race mode, which is very direct throttle, and if you want to do track days on this bike, it wouldn't be out of question. For the suspension, it's got Öhlins Smart 2.0, which is electronic suspension, of course, and it adjusts via all the various modes that you put the bike in. But it's event based too, so it's smart. It knows when you're grabbing a big handful of throttle, it stiffens up the rear. It knows when you're grabbing a big handful of brakes, and it makes it a little more firm in front. So it's pretty amazing technology. Quiet. And you'll be paying for it commensurately. The other electronics that are interesting to me that I hadn't sampled before was the Adoptive cruise control. There's a little radar sensor on back and front, and I think you've heard about it before and you know how it works, but it's pretty amazing. And the other thing that I'd never seen before is the blind spot detector. If there's somebody alongside you, a little yellow light on the top inner edge of each mirror kind of comes on yellow and lets you know there's somebody there or there. And I mean, you kind of already have that sixth sense if you've been riding motorcycles for a while, but it's kind of not a bad thing to have either. Anyway, like I was saying, Ducati's had lots of success at Pikes Peak, and it's nice that they made this thing kind of in honor of Carlin Dunn, their rider, who was killed there a couple of years ago. And also learned in the presentation that Floyd Clymer won the first Pikes Peak back in 1913. And I think Floyd Clymer, in addition to all the service manuals that he wrote, founded one of the original magazines, like Cycle Magazine. I think was a Floyd Clymer publication when it started out. I'm gonna have to research that. Don't hold me to that. This could be fake news. I'm not sure, but I'll go back and look at that. This is kind of a partial road test. I'm sorry I was a little bit cut short. I'd say the thing goes great in 32-degree weather where it's about to snow. It does pretty good. And the little bit of time that we got to ride it sportily this morning gave me the impression that it would be a really fun sport bike, in addition to like a really good sport touring bike for cross country. Put on the Adoptive cruise control. You can get bags. The mounts are here all ready to put the saddlebags on. All you have to do is put them on. They got this saddlebag mount that goes back and forth so it doesn't induce wobble into the bike. That's about all I've got right now. You need to go over to Motorcycle.com to read the full review. I'm gonna write when I have all the specs and all the other facts laid out in front of me, and I'm not having post-traumatic stress from just coming down off Mount Gorgonio or whatever it was. Glad to be alive. Over and out.